Amazon made another attempt to compete with leading AI models such as Claude, Llama, and Stable Diffusion and released a new family of foundational models, Amazon Nova. Their previous attempt, Titan, was not that good, so let's take a look what they offer us now. There are a few different models for text generation, images, and videos as well. Let's take a look at them. So the first one is Amazon Nova Micro. This model offers us an ultra-low latency and cost-effective performance. And it can perform a wide range of tasks and supports more than 200 languages. But there are some limitations. It only supports up to 128,000 tokens, and also it does not support multimodal prompts. This model is text only. Another one, Amazon Nova Lite, meant to be ultra fast and cost effective as well, but unlike Nova Micro, this one supports multimodal prompts and can handle text, images and video inputs, but outputs only text. This model supports 300,000 tokens and the same amount of languages as Nova Micro. And the most powerful text generation model for now is Amazon Nova Pro. It also supports multimodal prompts, and it's not as fast as Micro and Lite, but it supports more complicated tasks and can do all kind of reasoning, summarization, Q&A, and even software development. It also supports AI agents and complex instructions. So this model is pretty cool, and again the maximum tokens is 300,000 and everything else is the same as Nova Lite. There is another model that is coming soon. It's Amazon Nova Premiere. And this model is still in training, but it's meant to be the most powerful one. And the purpose of this model is creation of realistic content for marketing, advertising, and etc. I'm really curious about this one, but it's gonna be released only in Q1 2025, so we are still waiting for it. And next two models are the most interesting for me personally. It's models for images and video generation. The first one is Amazon Nova Canvas. It can generate images in resolution from 512 to 2000 pixels on the horizontal side. It also supports different aspect ratios and can generate images up to 4.1 million pixels resolution. It also supports image editing and such features like outpainting and inpainting, and can remove background from your pictures. And the last one, Amazon Nova Reel, is a model for video generation. It can create high-quality video content, and Amazon claims that this model outperforms other models in human evaluation of video quality and consistency. It can generate 6 seconds of video with 24 frames per second. You can also use image reference to generate video and text prompt as well. It provides different motion effects like zoom or dolly forward, so you can control it with just the prompt. Sounds amazing, isn't it? Now let's take a look at the pricing. The pricing is already published on the official Bedrock page, and here we can see the Amazon models in this tab. And yeah, we can compare. For example, Amazon Nova Micro costs like 0.000035 for 1000 input tokens, and if we compare it, let's say, with Anthropic, which one is the cheapest one? The instant one? Yeah, so no, the cheapest one is actually this one, Claude 3 Haiku. It's 00025 for 1000 tokens. So yeah, this is definitely cheaper than Anthropic model. And what about Metal Llama? Metal Llama is also much more expensive, all of it. And what about the Amazon Nova Pro? I think it would be fair to compare it with Claude 3.5, for example. So this one is 0008, and if we go to Anthropic, and yeah, again, it's much more cheaper than anthropic models and llama models as well. Yeah, it's actually this one with 1 billion tokens. I think this one is cheaper than Amazon. Yeah, this one is cheaper, but this is less performant, I guess. And what about Stable Diffusion? So Stable Diffusion lets us generate images with resolution up to 1024. And for this resolution, you would pay 0.04 or 0.08. And if we go to Amazon Canvas, so standard quality, the price is the same, but for premium quality it is cheaper. And Amazon Nova Canvas also can generate pictures in higher resolution. So image in the better resolution will cost the same as this one. And yeah, this sounds like a good deal. And what about Amazon Nova Reel? So pricing for 1 second of video is $0.08 and you'll get 24 frames per second, 720p. And let's say, let's compare it with the Runway. Yes, so here, Runway 5 seconds of video costs 0.25, and if you go back to pricing here, 1 second is, so 5 seconds would cost us 20 cents, when here it's 25. So yes, it is a little bit cheaper than Runway. And also they say that the quality is much better, that it's outperforming all the existing models. I think there is no official benchmark, official independent benchmark that would compare Amazon models with others yet, but users that tested Amazon models, they write that they are not as good as it claimed by Amazon. But again, it is not an official statement, it's just some rumors from Reddit, and we don't want to believe this. We want to test it ourselves, and let's go and try it. You can do it as well if you have an account in AWS. You can enable models in Bedrock, and I'm going to do it right now. So here we are in the Bedrock console. Let's go to the playground. And let's go for image and video first, because I'm really curious about this video model. And first we need to enable the models, we need to request access before we can use it. We are going to request these ones. These are all the new models. That should be instant, I think. Yeah, so access is granted, so let's go back. Here we are. Let's refresh the page, and we can select Amazon Canvas and apply. So there are fields for the prompt, for a negative prompt, and we can choose the size. Yeah, I'm going to spend lots of money, and I want to see how much will cost me and how much it will take, let's say, to generate this size of image. And I will generate 2 images. I can also choose a color palette, and yeah, I will leave it as default. Let me try to generate an image. It's going to have a blue palette, and I want to generate an image of beautiful parrot flying in the Kensington Park. This is a very simple prompt, and yeah, of course we could do something more fancy, but I want to try a simple one first, and I want to see how much time it's gonna take, because this is quite a big image. So it probably will do the generation and upscaling at one go. And now it is done. Unfortunately, it does not tell us how much time it took, but yeah, so we've got the parrot, and there is a lot of blue sky, but honestly I'm not that impressed with the quality. So the cool stuff is that here we also have a little menu and we can remove object or replace background or remove background. So let's try to remove background and let's run it. Well, that was really good. I like how quick and how precisely it removed the background. Yeah, this one is good, even though I'm not impressed with the image itself and with the quality of the image. Okay, let's just go back now. Can I go back to my prompt? Let's go to generate image. And now let's try to do something more complicated. I'll change the size. I'll change it to a bit smaller ones. And again, let's leave this number of images as 2 and let's run this prompt. Let's give it another chance. So far, to be honest, I'm not impressed. And it's also not that quick, to be honest. I think it takes like a couple of minutes. So yeah, this one is not that bad. And it generated 2 women. The images are very similar with a little bit of a difference. Yeah, we can download it and see. Yeah, the quality is not bad, but it's not that realistic. I would say that Flux does better. I'm not impressed so far. But the features, the additional features like removing the object and background, they are pretty cool. But again, there are free services that can do it for you. But of course, if you are developing your own application and you want to have something like that, it will be very easy to implement with these new models from AWS. Okay, now let's download these pictures and let's go to our video model. We're going to change this one to Nova Reel. Okay, so it's going to save a video to our S3 storage. So let's try to generate a video with the same prompt, walking on the street of Cyberpunk City. Okay, so we are expecting a woman to be walking. Honestly, a while ago I tried to generate humans walking or running with stable diffusion and with runway, and it was awful. Results were awful. It's just like, it's really hard for AI to handle these movements, this anatomy. And yeah, it's much easier, you know, just to do some zoom in or zoom out animation. But yeah, the real like movement of the character is much more complicated. So let's try and see what will happen. Yeah, so there are some advanced configuration. We can use some random seed and yeah, let's try. This can take up to 5 minutes. Well, that's fine. And it will be saved to our S3 bucket. Okay, so it's done. And I think it took even more than 5 minutes, but it's here. It generated a 6 seconds video. The way she's walking is a bit awkward. She's kind of walking sideways instead of like going like normal human. So yeah, that's not perfect, but the quality of video itself is pretty good. You can see her skin and her like face is pretty consistent. Okay, let's try to generate something else. Again, I'm curious about generating humans, so I will try to just a beautiful, stunning woman with red hair on a catwalk, Fashion Week, London. Let's try this one. I don't know how much I will pay for this, but yeah, I really enjoy playing around with these models, with this kind of stuff that generates videos and images. Let's see what it will create this time. Okay, so it is ready, and prepare yourself, this is gonna be funny. So the start is good. Her face close up was nice, but then you see these background people and like how their faces are just messed up and how they're moving like here. Yeah, that's not great. And honestly, I would say that I can't say it's outperforming other models, no. So probably just the prompts I used are not that great, but yeah, you can see that this model cannot handle complicated requests. Yeah, probably it can do nice animation of the picture, like a close-up, like a zoom in, zoom out, and all this dolly forward. But I'm not going to try this. You already saw it in the demo, and it seems that these things is something that model does really well, and everything else, well, still a room for improvement. Enough of the creative content. Let's try the models for text generation. Let's try our Amazon Nova Lite, because Amazon Nova Micro is way too basic. Let's try Nova Lite. I think it would be fair to compare it with a Claude, or maybe let's try Nova Pro. Yeah, let's try Nova Pro as the most powerful for now. And I've got an article with some examples of the prompts to evaluate performance of the model, and I'm going to copy paste these prompts to see how good model will handle them, and I'm leaving this as a default. Okay, so it generated pretty long text with a latency in 6 seconds. I think this is pretty good. This is a lot of of a story, of a plot and different characters. So this is a nice fairy tale. Now let's try something else. Let's try something more scientific. And they also said it can write a code, so let's try to write a code. Okay, so it can generate a simple React code. Let's try something more complicated. For example, practical coding example. This is an easy one, but let's try it. Okay, this looks legit to me. So yeah, it can write some simple code. I don't know how it will handle the most complicated cases. Just, nothing comes to my mind right now. But for the simple examples, it is fine. It all takes around 6 seconds to get the response. And now let's just try in another tab. Let's try Claude. We are going to use this one, and we are going to try a similar prompt. Okay, so it is also creating some kind of a fairy tale about some animals in the forest. So the latency is a bit higher, and the story I think is a bit shorter, but I think that's fine. And now let's try the coding example. I think Claude should handle it pretty well. And yeah, this is very similar to the Amazon Nova response. The difference is that I think Amazon Nova gave a bit more, it's shorter, it doesn't have a CSS, and Claude decided to give us a CSS as well. I mean, I don't mind, but we didn't ask about it. So in general, the Claude answer is more detailed. I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess we can set it up here for the maximum length and etc. Probably here, oh yeah, sure, here we have 512 and here we have 2000, so that's why this response is way longer. If we do it for 512 as well, and we'll try again. Yeah, so again, it is the same. It tries to give us a CSS, but it just stopped. Yeah, honestly, here I like the Amazon model answer better, because it's just what I'm asking for. I'm not asking about CSS, and it's not giving me this CSS. So yeah, that's pretty good, and it is a bit quicker. You can see that latency here is 8 seconds, and here it was around 6. And let's try the Python one as well. I'll leave this as 512 just to make this experiment clean. This answer is longer and it gave us a lot more options, because the Amazon one just gave us one option, an example, and this one gave us 4 options and probably could give even more if we let it do so, but the response time is a bit longer. That's my first impression, first review of Amazon Nova models, and to summarize, I can agree that these models run faster than other third-party models, at least in Amazon Bedrock, and these models are cheaper, but in terms of quality, and like that's just my personal opinion, I think such models as Stable Diffusion or Flux or Runway, they can give you better results if you create some multimedia content, if you create videos and images. But for the text model, I think it's pretty good. It is at least at the same level as Claude. And for me as a developer, I think these models will be really helpful because they are cheaper, they are integrated with the infrastructure, and they give me very low latency results. And I think I will use them for the text generation, for multimodal prompts, yes. But when it comes to content creation, images generation, video generation, I think I will still stick to my traditional methods. I will still use Flux and Stable Diffusion. I think probably it's just me, and I just got used to my comfy UI workflows and etc. You know, even with one-shot prompt, I could do better in Stable Diffusion than in Amazon Nova. That's it for today. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was useful. Please let me know what do you think about new Amazon Nova models if you already had a chance to try them. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.